Hello and welcome to my next video. This is Alex, and this is my third YouTube video, and I believe my seventh day of trading. Well, today has been an interesting day. I am still in the red, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure. I can't say I learned that much today from my own performance. However, I can say that I am quite happy in the follow through of the lessons I learned in my previous videos, namely cutting my losses. I did quite well in cutting my losses today. While I'm still red, that is a good thing. The problem is though that my accuracy is very lackluster still. I did 7 trades today, 2 of which were green, 4 of which were red, and unfortunately still my red days are still a little bit bigger in general than my green days, and that's also my green trades, I mean, and that is a problem as well. Certainly I can probably I can probably that's a very good phrase. I can improve my um, trades a little bit so that I can have more profits in the actual green trades. But cutting my losses down to a maximum of $15.78, I'm very pleased with that. However, so I have 2 green days, 4 red days, and 1 essentially break-even day. Trade, god damn it, break-even trade. So my accuracy is just around there, around 20%, just a little bit above 20%. And even if my even if or not taken into consideration that my red trades are still bigger than my green trades, that still is just math impossible to. That is just a losing percent accuracy. In order to make money, I need to have, given that my losses and wins would be roughly the same size, more than 50% of correct accuracy. So right now I still don't have that. My goal is around 60%. That's a realistic one. If I can have around 60% or around 2/3 of my trades being green, given that the size is roughly equal, it's just a definite success. I'm definitely going to make money, and that's what counts. It's not really realistic to assume any higher percentage from me. Even the best traders get around 70, a little bit above 70%, the very best traders, and that's a very, very, very high, high threshold for me to reach. So I'm not really expecting that. However, getting into the 60s would be good, and I would be making money. So that's the one thing that I will work on from now on. On the plus side, my discipline to cut losses has definitely increased. The lessons I learned in the previous videos have been good, and as you can see, my biggest loss was $15.78. Okay, that being said, let's go into my trades and look at the trades that I actually did. And we start off with, in fact, a trade that I didn't end up doing, but I wanted to give this example because looking at the charts really makes a difference. Here, this one is not the greatest example. Let me just say that this stock, DLNG, came up on one of the scanners that I'm working with. Because it had risen in the last few minutes by a relatively high percentage, as we can see here, maybe from around 250 to 275. That's a good amount, and that's why it showed up on the scanner. However, looking at the daily chart down here, looking at this one, there are several things to look at. First of all, we can see just recently it actually dropped quite a bit, and it just bounced off the bottom a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, not having another high day. There was one, if we look at the 5-minute chart, there was one slightly higher bar recently, but we haven't even surpassed that one. And given also that here, this is a detail, the volume on this red bar is higher than the volume on this green bar. it doesn't really look good, and also that it's way below the 200 moving average. So there's not really something to look at. Also down here, yes, this chart should be the RSI, if I remember. And it's a stochastic indicator. We can say this, which analyzes volume in terms of how is volume what is the trend in volume, and as we can see, this should be at the lower end, which means it is at the lower end, which means that it's trading with roughly lower volume than usually, and that's another thing that's well, an indicator not to buy it. So I didn't end up buying it. I then did do a trade on the next one, which we're looking at now, BIOC. You can see how long it takes for my chart to load. That's a big problem, because if you look at the 1 minute here, it actually had done a quite nice move up after this initial drop, and I was now watching it for a good entry point roughly around this time. Essentially, I'm looking for on this chart here. We could see that I just just initiated an order. That's actually a little bit higher, a little bit too early. You will listen to what I'm going to say now. You will understand, because what I was looking for was what I should have been looking for was another bar after this one, this red one, that shows that it's essentially green. That shows that it's going back up. I went in a little bit early. It did end up okay for me. And as you can, I was just watching this, and just as I cut my losses quickly, I also wanted to cut my risk in general quickly by getting out of trades quickly. So as I look at this here now, we see it's just about 25 cents, 26 cents, which 225, 226, which does make me a little bit nervous. However, there's this green bar that I mentioned, and that's quite okay, and it goes, and just as we get there, I say, okay, sell, because it made me nervous that it stayed for such a long time. It keeps going a little bit higher up. In fact, how do I say this? I distributed my sale into two, 50 at first and then 50 a little bit later. Essentially, it's taking profit early and then just wait if it keeps growing. And it did keep growing. And then I quickly then this stock, AVCO, came onto the scanners. And I was still nervous about BIOC. As you can see here already, AVCO is loaded, whereas here we still have BIOC. And here's AVCO. It's really slow. I don't know if this is my computer or if this is my internet or what it is. I want to upgrade my computer as soon as I can make some money here. That's my goal. You need to have some goals. I need to make some profit so I can upgrade my computer, so I can hopefully see these charts better and faster. Anyway, BIOC, we can take a quick look at how it kept going. Let's load it up here. Again, we get to wait. So, BIOC, I got in at about 9:37, which is a little bit earlier than I usually go into. But I figured, actually that's important to say. I said yesterday that going into not yesterday, Friday, that going into trades in the first 10 minutes of the market opening is quite risky, as oftentimes things rise for a really short time and then crash. But I was thinking, okay, if I see a setup that is kind of interesting, then I will just make sure that whatever happens, I get out very quickly, because I had this realization over the weekend as I was thinking about this strategy that I'm trading. I'm trading the momentum strategy, which means that as soon as I see something happening on a certain stock, I react quickly, and then also make or decide quickly on getting out. That is the whole point of momentum. So it's a little bit less. I'm using less indicators than traders that with a longer term time frame. Whereas like maybe not a, well a trader in commodities, for example, will probably look or any stock that is a little bit more expensive, we can almost say people look at that. A lot of people look at that more longer term, and they look at how, for example, the S&P 500 is looking right now, or oil, or gold, or silver, and they analyze the chart looking at stochastic, at oscillators, at volume indicators, at sales price indicators like EMAs. They look at all these things and make a decision based on the general trend they expect to happen in the next few weeks, months, or even years. And then they buy, and then they wait for that trend to resolve, and they sell whenever the indicators show that the trend is about to reverse or has already reversed, as a lot of indicators are lagging behind, which makes it a little bit difficult to trade like that, or actually not makes it a little bit difficult to find the perfect entry and exit. In fact, it's almost impossible to find the perfect entry and exit in those longer term trends, and also in a sense in these short term trends. That being said, I'm digressing. My apologies. So I was getting into BIOC at 9:37. As you can see, I'm sorry, if you can see this clearly, if I get my hand out of the way, my apologies. You see the rise just after the 9:30, it starts rising, and then there comes the first red bar, which encompasses the previous green bar. In that bar, I did my trade. I got in, and just 44 seconds later, I got out. Now it kept growing to a high of 250 in that particular instance. However, I could not know that. That was impossible for me to know. I wish I could have held it a little bit longer, since it didn't break the low of this chart that I was trading in. So the low of this bar, not chart, of this bar that I traded in. Sorry, where is it? Here. The low is 227, 222, 222.7, and I got in at what did I get in at? At 224, so quite a decent low entry actually. And the low of the next bar was 224, just my low. If I had set my stop loss, or a stop loss, just a little bit lower than 224, say 222, below the low of this particular bar, just would have already been fine, then I could have potentially made well 26 cents theoretically. I mean, I could have made 20 cents in profits, and that 20 cents in profits is quite good. I didn't know that, so I don't really think that, but it does make me think about you know, my risk management, and I can risk a bit more in these uptrend charts. Of course, risking more in case I'm wrong. You know, I might also lose more than I would otherwise. This is something I just have to practice a bit more over, and with time, hopefully, I'll get it. But it's interesting to see this happening. We will see this. Actually, today is a day where I will talk a lot about whatever happened after I sold a particular stock. And I don't think I can come to a very decisive conclusion, but we will see as we go. Let me go back to my trades that I did. Did we already see me? Oh, yes, we already saw me get in and get out. And it keeps growing, so that was just bad luck a little bit, but that's fine. Moving on to the next one. So, yes, one of the reasons why I sold BIOC so quickly is because on the scanner, this one was coming up, which, as you know, is a runner. If you remember in my previous video, it had a quick run from, what was it, $4 all the way up to $7, something like that. And I actually managed to lose $150 just on getting a bad high entry and then a very bad low exit. This was really painful. And today, essentially, this particular stock is doing the exact same thing to me. I get a certain entry and then a bad exit. My entries have gotten actually not a lot better either. So this stock is just my arch enemy. Anyway, it had just reached the scanner, and we can see increasing volume, which is good, and a good green bar. So I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it again for a good entry. Here I did a better job at timing my entry, because I was actually looking at a green bar after the red bar. Still a little bit early, but better than my previous trade, even though this ended up making me more money. Now I keep watching it, and again, it does this thing which makes me very nervous. It's kind of goes sideways for a few seconds. It doesn't really break a profitable level, so I just get out with half of my position, and then after that it drops really fast, and I just get out immediately with my the remainder of my position for a loss of just about $6. So again, it's good that I cut my loss. If we go to the chart, that's not the chart. Where is the chart? Here's the chart. If we go to the chart, we can see that that particular trade, that particular exit was okay. Let me see. I got in at 940 and out at 940.57. 9. So this red bar over here. And in the next 5 minutes of exiting this trade, it does actually make a rebound to a high of 710. I got in at, I think, 705 or 706. So at 710, I would have made at least a tiny little bit of profit. But definitely, I could have saved myself the big loss, because the, well, excuse me, 941. What is this? The low, however, if you think about cutting losses, the low between my exit and the new high was 655, and that would have been a 50-cent risk, which is extremely high. So no, this exit was good, and even though I could have still made a little bit of money, that was just not to be foreseeable. And even in this case, you can see that if the stupid chart if that stupid thing gets out of the way, after that new smaller high, after my exit, it just dropped immensely. It dropped $1 essentially. It dropped a full dollar. So my exit was actually not too badly timed. So then the next one would be check. Let me go into the video. Check, CHEK 2218. Yeah, after this, I just kept watching the market and nothing really showed up for 10 minutes. 2210, 2217. So, here we go. Let me pause this. Again, this came up on the scanner. It had risen, if we look at this 5-minute chart here, from a low of 350 to a high of, what was it, 398 in just about 5 minutes. And looking at this daily chart down here, it reached its 200-day single moving average. So that is a possible resistance. Of course, the full dollar in general, $4, is a good point, somewhat of a resistance as well. As soon as it approaches this, after some time, it might break it. And as soon as it breaks the full dollar, there's a good chance that it might go quite high. I mean, it could go parabolic, considering that it has reached its 200-day simple moving average. Of course, the exponential moving average is higher at 480. So, you know, somewhere in this range, there's a chance that it would go very much higher. But just the fact that it's approaching $4 could be, or is a sign that it could be a good trade. So I was watching it, and again, it had made a somewhat like grinding rise, grinding advance on price. And I was just looking for a decent entry after a essentially after a well, a green bar after a red bar, or in this case, as I did type it in lower, at towards the lower end of a slightly red bar that still looks like it could go up. This is a very complicated statement. However, this and that's a detail. This red bar has two. How is this called? Is it doji? I think it might be doji. I'm actually not too sure. It has, as you can see, it has a the thin line coming out on top and at the bottom at roughly the same distance. So this is called an indecision candle, and it could go either way, but something will happen. So I'm just checking towards the lower end of this red bar right now at 388, and in order to not get in a lot higher, I just hit the buy button here and place this order. This is the advantage that on trade 0 I don't have to pay a commission, because if it's at least 2 cents below the current ask, then I don't have to pay commission. And I do get in at 386. No, I'm sorry, my bad. Yes, I got in at 388. But it did end up going lower, and I just get out quickly because I feel that it might be going further down. So I'm trying to cut my losses. Does it in the end go higher? Let me try. Oh no! Again, check. Oh, I'm already in it. Oh, excellent. No, okay. I get in quite just about here where it starts to get to rise, but it keeps dropping, and actually keeps dropping for the end of the day, and never really approaches that level again. So in this case, it was very good to get out very quickly. All right, next one. 3 minutes later, it's again our friend AVCO. Yes. Okay. So if I hit the play button now, you will see the buying the buying notification coming here, because I had just hit the buy button manually at 6:05, looking at this. And yes, this entry at 6:05 was at the height of this green bar, which is not good. Not good, as you can see. It after that comes a red bar immediately, and that causes me to get very nervous. And it just kind of stays there, and it just doesn't seem to break above 6 again. Now, at that moment, I set a sell order for $6. In fact, no, in that moment I didn't do that. I thought about this, and I did set a sell order for 6 to cut my losses. However, as it kept falling, or it just kept staying in this 90 range, I thought that it might not especially seeing now that it gets to 590, so it reaches the lower end of the 90s, and I just get very scared. It reaches 580, 89, 88. I just get scared, so I cancel my order, and I end up repeating this same thing twice. So I set a sell order at a price that I would like to get out. I feel it doesn't get out there. I cancel. I set a new lower one, and I keep doing this until I get filled at 590 for a $15 loss. However, this was quite bad. Yeah, I gotta think this through. Give me a second. This was bad because in the end, I just keep this off. I do end up making another trade with AVCO, so let me just keep it open for now, and then I'll go through all the trades in one bit, or the other trade just right after this one. Anyway, I got into this one at 9:56. That's here exactly. So I don't know if you can see this clearly. We have this thing gets annoying. Maybe I can do something like this. Well, that looks bad. Let me try that again. Okay. I don't know if you can see these lines, or at least you can see the mouse. You see that you saw that I made a kind of like directional range here going up. So I got into this one just about here at the high of this green candle, and after that it dropped. However, and this is the lesson I should get out of this one, it didn't drop to the below the last candle, yes. It ended up going a little bit higher than the last candle. So in this case, I should have just set my stop loss, or my minimum acceptable loss, a little bit lower, and I would have been fine, because it did end up going higher, and I could have made some profit in the minutes afterwards. The same thing happened on the trade after this one. The problem with this trade, however, was that I got it at the high of this green candle, and that's a mistake. I should have waited for it to come back down, and then get in. This candle, this green candle, has a very thick body, so I was afraid that it might just end up, it might just keep rising. It might just keep going higher without me. So I got in a little bit higher, and that was the mistake. I think I should have. Well, I should have at least held towards and with an acceptance of a loss below the previous low. That would have been safer, because it didn't actually end up reaching that previous low, and instead, after it reached that initial low that I got out in, it rose again another 25-30 cents that I could have comfortably made a little bit of profit in. Oh my god, I'm just looking at AVCO right now. I'm almost thinking about trading it again. The problem with volume at this time, it is, what time is it? It's 12:30 US time. It's in this late hour, after 10:30, volume just kind of dries out. You can even see this here, 9:30 to just about 10. It's very high volume, then there's nothing, then there's a little bit at 10:30, then there's nothing, a little bit around 11:30. Now it's 12:30. Oh, this is interesting. I'm just now noticing it. Is it always around the half hour? I need to check this. I don't know if that is just coincidence, or if this means something. I gotta check. Clear all. No, undo. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Anyway, it keeps rising. I don't know if I should get. I'll just check it. Well, okay, this would be the perfect live experience for you guys watching. However, I'm already at 28 minutes. I kind of don't want to drag this out any longer. I'll just keep watching this while I go through the trades. The third AVCO trade that I made was at 10:38. Again, I saw this rise, and where is it? 10:38. Here. It's here. Let me get this one again. It's just, sorry, where is it? God damn it. Was it this one? 10:38? No, it was this one. This one right here. I don't know if you can see this this line. Last time I tried it, nobody could, or it was not visible in the video. It should be, but if you saw the mouse movement, then you know what I'm looking at. Anyway, at 10:38, I got in, and just 1 minute later I got out. You can see I saw what I was seeing in that moment. Actually, let's go to the video. It is Yes. 107. Where's the video? We go to 107 and 40. Yes. Okay, here we see my thinking. I saw these rises, drop, rise, and this might be another short correction. And just in this short correction, I decide I want to get in. Again, I guess I should have waited a little bit longer. Damn! This is always FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. I need to control and discipline my entries better. I got in at 6:39. It goes to 6:44 quickly, and then I do set a sell load at 6:45. However, it doesn't get filled, and where is it? 6:38, 6:37. I think I set another sell order at 6:51. Really? Did I do that? That could be. Yeah. But then it fell way past 30, and I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna fade again. And I essentially cancel my sell orders, and I essentially panic sell into this drop. Again, this was kind of like a bad exit, just a panic exit, because in the end, actually, well, never mind. Let me correct myself again. It essentially goes sideways. I could have waited a little bit longer, and I would have gotten out just above or at my buying price. And then the next one is just an hour later. It does keep rising above the previous price and goes even to like 650, but that's super late in the market, and that was not foreseeable. So this exit could have made the entry and exit probably wasn't timed the best, but the decision to get out was good. Holy shit! It just broke 7. It just did that. What's gonna happen now? I might just go into this. Okay, drops lower. Volume is also kind of increasing. What's happening? Well, I guess you get lucky that I'm doing my trading now in real time. That's interesting. I have a red dot on my screen. Okay, 6.99, 7. If I follow what I just said throughout this entire video and time my entry a little bit better, I wait for this candle that is forming right now to stay green, and then I might get in. I could even check that the previous high was, was 719. Well, if it goes there again, then I'll definitely go in, I guess. 709, 04. What else do we see here? High. Even 5-minute volume is increasing. I think I might. 712. Yeah, shit. Okay, it is going higher. But then again, I'm not sure now. See, I'm again afraid of getting in too high. I always get in too high. Yeah, if you're watching this and you see this a lot clearer than I see it. 704, this could be an entry. Oh shit. Place order. I just placed an order at what? 709. Okay, that's acceptable. And it has filled at 709. That's nice. Now let's see what happens. 710, 712. I'll try for the purpose of this video to just follow everything I said all along, to wait a little bit longer. I might get out around 7, around now with half. What did I set? 50 at 715. Yeah, I might get out at 715 with half, just to get a little bit of cushion. Okay, why does it not go? Why did it not go through? Well, that's annoying. Nobody wants to buy the shares I sell for 7.15. I'll wait. I will wait, and I'll see what happens. Excuse me. Volume is now again drying up. Should I cancel this one? I'm not sure. No, I'll keep it. I'll keep it. Worst case, I sell for another small loss. You know, that's just shit happens. 701, 7. Oh, this might be really bad. I'm getting scared now that it might fall below 7. Go sideways, volume is dying. I should look at this one. There's 1,100 shares, 1,100 shares sold at 7.15. Now it's 20 at 7.12, and people are buying at 7.02, 7.01. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know what? I'll just keep it. I'll just keep it while I finish the video, and then we come back in the end and see what happened. Oh, I should put a stop loss. That's actually a much better idea. I'll cancel this one. Cancel this one. And now let's do the low is, where is the low? 698. So I'll put a 100, a stop loss, stop limit at 6. Oh, I'm 731. Jesus Christ. You know what? Fuck that. I'm selling. Holy shit. Oh, this is nice. Okay, I'm selling at half at 35. Oh, that sucks. And I'm selling all at, okay, 46. Better than nothing, you know? 57. We'll see how far it goes, but at least I'm happy that I just made $30, which means I'm almost in the green now. Nice. We now experienced something very nice. I followed my own advice and just tried to think about my entry and exit a bit better, a bit more, and it ended up going very well for me. So you know, kudos to me. And I hope we have all learned something. Now, this video is getting too long. Let me just quickly wrap this up. I had one more. After this one, I had 2 more trades. One green one, one red one. Let me see if there was interesting. Okay, exit. Both of them. Interesting thing is, both of them kept going higher after I got out. So 762, this might go higher. Nice. Anyway, both of them kept going higher after I sold them. So that's another sign with patience. However, in one of them, I did get in a little bit high. Yeah, and the exits were okay. In my notes say that I had okay exits on these 2 trades, but one is a high entry. Anyway, let me finish here. Shit, this keeps going. Okay, I'm going to keep trading this one. If I can, I'll see what happens. In any case, the conclusion of today is cutting losses is super important. Really, really important, and I'm happy that I did that. There's still things I can learn, and I think just in this last trade that I did together with you, I learned quite a bit. Jesus Christ, this totally broke out. And that being said now, yeah, I'll take these lessons into tomorrow, and let's see what happens tomorrow. Have a good day. Goodbye.